Hello Snampy and welcome to our English news edition brought to you live by RTD channel. Here are the top stories. Djibouti Health and UNICEF donation of medicine and health equipment. Decentralization, a workshop of reflection on the strengthening of the process of decentralization. And now to the regional news. Kenya, Nairobi launched his train. That was the headlines, and now to the national news.
The Minister of the Delegation in charge of Trade, Craft, Tourist and Formalization and the Office of Djibouti of Administration and Commercial Property shall inform the economy operation investor and potential creator of the company that the new cost of registration of the registrar of the business and corporation span 132,500 francs Djibouti to 18,000 francs Djibouti for any business creation of physical or moral person. This significant decline stemmed from the continuous effort undertaken by our country in order to make the business environment more attractive and to contribute its economic competitiveness national and regional international level. To benefit from this service, please go to antenna of the ODBIC with the single window Boulevard of the Republic. The unique guichet was inaugurated last March by the President of the Republic Moldova in the presence of the First Lady of the Language and the Government of the Director of ODBIC, Mrs. Olufa.
Under the high patronage of the Minister of Health, Dr. Jamal Almeoki, the Minister of Health has organized this morning a ceremony of the receipt of the gift of medicine and also materials of health granted by UNICEF. And this donation in medicine and equipment will help to strengthen the system of health to Djibouti. This donation in medicine and equipment are the result to a visit exchange and sharing carried out by a delegation of the Minister of Health conducted by His Excellency Dr. Jamal Almeoki to Copenhagen in Denmark at the headquarters of the Division of the Supply of the UNICEF last January. Arrival on the site of the host, Dr. Jamal Almeoki and his colleague to the social affairs, Ms. Muna Usmanaden, have been welcomed by senior officials of the Ministry of Health, including the Director General of the hospital, Peltier Hospital, Mr. Jama, as well as Ms. the UNICEF representative, Janabu Mahondi. Songs and dance, folk pressing by young groups were as well as to the many of the program of the ceremony of the received. The donation of medicine and also equipment granted by the UNICEF, which took place this morning in front of the medical center, Bufar.
In his speech this occasion, the uniform representative of Djibouti, Dembjoua Mahadan, has explained that this ceremony for the equipment and the health product to the government of Djibouti has through the Minister of Health in a session, event and mutual activity committed since the beginning of the year of the Minister of the Health and the UNF.
Taking its turn to floor to the Minister of Health has clearly stressed that this medicine and also equipment of health are the fruit of our commitment made immediately with the division of the supply of the UNICEF, he said, and this is only the beginning of the processes of strengthening the supply system in medicine and in medical facilities that the government wished to accelerate in Djibouti. Improvement of services offered to the population figure to the rank of our first priority, he said the Minister of Health, Dr. Jamal Almeoki.
The Minister of Health, Dr. Jamal Almeoki, has explained the coming of this equipment or any coming in which is architected an exemplary collaboration. As you know, since the making of the function of the level of the Minister of the Health, the President of the Republic have assisted of weapons of solid place of our partner, mainly the partners that are involved in the issue of the mother and the child in a poverty issue, the policy of the government of the Republic of Djibouti, who has taken the heart of the President of the Republic of Djibouti and the First Lady.
And after the official speeches, the Minister of Health has making the distribution of different batches of medicine and medical equipment to the various hospitals in the national references as well as those of the region of interior. These materials are essentially composed of medicine for the health, of the mother and also the child a test of $3 million, and these materials are composed of protection equipment for agent hygiene of the National Institute of Public Health, materials, sterilization for hospitals, generators, solar refrigerators for the post of health of region of the interior, and finally the tools necessary to services, emergencies and also reanimation.
A workshop of refund on the first phase of the mission to support the process of decentralization has opened this morning at the Path of the People. The purpose of this workshop was presented to the policymaker of the role of the mission and supported to support the Department of Decentralization and help has realization to the two main objectives, namely establishment of the legal framework, be renewed a locational taxation without legal framework which laid down the original council, communal as well as the town hall. The central power is located to be able to work with the centralization entity. Without taxation, the region will not have the means to develop where the needs to create a department dedicated has sense. Taking into account the centralization is a matter for all important, highlighting all the strengthening and the weakness of the centralization process. Were present at this meeting the Minister of the Delegating and Decentralization, Mr. Harames, the Minister of the Higher Education Research, Dr. Nabil Mohammed Ahmed, the Minister of the National Education and Vocational Training, Mustafa Mohammed Mahmoud, a Member of Parliament, the Prefect, the Regional, the President of the Regional Council, and the President of the Commune of the Capital.
And now the Minister of Decentralization, His Excellency Mr. Hamadou Mohamed Al-Ramis, in his speech did not fail to stress on the importance of these decentralization processes. First, he said, as the Inter-Ministerial Commission for Reflection on the Strengthening of the Decentralization Process, your participation at each step of this process is very important to my eyes, because your participation ensures the process of decentralization, the guarantee of the transversality, but also the evidence that the process that we have undertaken is an emanation of the entire government and not of a single department, he said. The second reason which pushed my department to seek your participation in the work of today is of course your status of Grand Serviceable of the Republic. In this title, your experience in public affairs is invaluable and irreplaceable. It would be a shame to deprive, he said, especially in the areas such as that of decentralization, where many things remain to think. That is why my department, he continued to say, and myself, we will be listening to the voice, as always, your thought and proposal that we will not fail to take into consideration. The document that you have in your hand is the fruit of the work of the mission of technical support that I would like to welcome to the passage to the seriousness and rigor which she has evidenced. It is a methodological framing which presents the various sequences and also the different themes which will be further developed by the mission of technical support with a timetable for implementation. That's it for tonight's news. Thanks for watching us and have a wonderful evening.